This is going to be a fun video. I love watching stuff like this and learning more hacks and tricks to reuse everyday items. I'm going to talk about 11 in this video. They not only will save you money, but they will solve problems around your house. So before you throw any of these out, watch this video and see if maybe this would be a good idea for you and your household. Now, I am not saying from the very beginning that you should keep every single one of these items that you run across, because that would be way excessive. But you can reuse one, two, or every once in a while when you get one and you see you have a need for it, you can reuse it. This is a smart way that you can take things in moderation and solve easily day-to-day problems, and at the same time reduce waste and, as we all like, save money. And before I tell you all about these great ideas, I want you to share what are some everyday items that you use in a purpose that isn't what it's made for. Watch this video and think about things that you think might be, yeah, I need to tell somebody about that, and put them down in the comments below, because we all on this channel love reading the comments and learning from each other. Number one is an item that will solve this problem. What's this problem? Well, the problem is wrapping paper and keeping it together. It's a pain in the rear for me. What happens is it starts sliding out the bottom here. The roll starts undoing. You try to stack them up, put them on top of the closet shelf. This is where my paper goes. And then they end up falling on top of your head. And then you end up wasting paper because half of it's bent. How do you fix this? Super simple, something that everybody has, toilet paper roll. Easy. Cut the toilet paper roll down lengthwise. Take your paper, make sure it's rolled up, and then put the toilet paper roll on top where the seam is. What? Genius, right? So you do that for all your rolls. And then what you do is you put it back wherever it goes. Super simple. And it's all put together, and you don't end up wasting paper because it's gotten bent or ripped or you've taped it. So now you have to waste at least 6 inches of the paper just to cut the taped part off. And you've reused a common household item of a toilet paper roll. Number two is an item that solved this problem. This is my dish where I keep the earrings that I wear the most often. So I was having a problem where I would go and say, oh, I want to wear this earring, and then I'm trying to find its friend, like socks. They are hard to find, and you can't quite find it. You're sitting here moving it around forever and ever and ever. What solves this problem? How can you quickly find the friend of the earring that you want to wear in the morning when you're already still bleary-eyed? Well, I also talked about buttons on one of my last videos. If you haven't seen that, it talks about 6 items that save me a ton of money, and one is my sewing box. My sewing box is where I keep extra random buttons for the things that, it's on a coat that you would never find a match for that button if it ended up falling off. You can reuse these buttons. Super simple. Grab a button and stick your earrings through it. So easy. And if the earrings are a little bit larger, not a problem. You put one on one side and one on the other. Sure, there are probably exceptions for some earrings that don't work. There certainly are exceptions for some buttons that don't work based on the size. But otherwise, what you're going to end up with is earrings, easily accessible. You always have the friend with them, and you can grab them in an instant. It is so much more organized and easy to do it this way. And you use those never to be used buttons. Problem number 3. Let me know if you have one of these, and it's called a bin with a whole bunch of cords in it. These are all of the cords that are around our house, and we keep them organized in a bin. See? The problem was becoming that I didn't know which cord went to what, especially for my husband and I. He has a work phone, I have a work phone, and then we have our regular phones. So there's 4 phones that we have to deal with different chargers, and then there might be something that, like my Kindle charger thing, and then whatever random things that my daughter is given for Christmas that come with a cord. That does this not irritate you too, that they never come with plugs anymore, so you have to keep a plug around? Anyway, you don't know what these things go to. How can you solve this problem? Well, the next time you get a bread tag, one of these little clippies, don't throw it away. You can get these on bagels, it comes on potato bags, all kinds of things. I love it, especially when they're completely blank on both sides. It's okay if they're not, you can just use one side. Super easy. So grab your little tag, write on here, for instance, if it's for the Samsung phone, write Samsung phone, or you can put your husband's name and his Samsung phone, or your name and your Samsung phone, or your iPhone, whatever it is. And then the genius thing is you just clip it onto the little cord and it's always there. So you can pick it up at any time and know exactly where this cord goes. Now, you can also use bread ties if it's a convenience for you, maybe for a cord that you don't use as often, and take a bread tie and wrap up your cord like this. But for us, we use these cords fairly often. We just leave them undone. We can pull it out, look for the correct tag. Number 4, if you've watched my Grandma's Frugal Tips, it's the most viewed video on my channel from 2 or 3 years ago, I think at this point. We talk about tin foil. Well, it's actually aluminum foil, but I was raised calling it tin foil. Don't throw this stuff away. But hey, you probably didn't know how you could reuse this stuff beyond, I don't know, using it again to cover a pie when you put it in the oven. Nope. It can sharpen scissors. So reuse this stuff before you throw it away, wipe it off, take your scissors and cut a few lines in your aluminum foil and it will sharpen your scissors. Now, if they are extremely dull, it's not going to save them. But if you continue to do this over and over with a pair of scissors that you use often, you're going to be able to keep your scissors in better shape and sharper for longer. Number 5 is a tissue box. Tissue boxes are great because my favorite way is to keep plastic bags in them. There are many uses for plastic bags. I'll talk about some here in just a moment, but this is a great place to keep them. Keep them by the back door, keep them by the mudroom, keep them under the sink. You can have them in several places depending upon how often you use them, what you reuse them for. But the thing about this is if somebody accidentally puts one in there that maybe is a little wet, you're not going to be upset if the box is then damaged. You just toss it out and get a new tissue box. But this is a great way to reuse tissue boxes, especially this time of the year. We're going through plenty of tissues. Number 6 are the bags. Well, of course, leave it in your tissue box by the door. The next time you take your little dog out, use this to pick up your poop. It's because your neighbor, the neighbor that has the sign on their yard that says, please pick up your poop. Yeah, those signs get on my nerves. Pick up your poop anyway. For me, the people who don't pick up their poop aren't going to care that you have a sign that says don't pick up the poop because they just aren't considerate in the first place. So here's my opinion. Grab one of these, super cheap, then you can just toss it in your trash when you get home. Speaking of trash, you can also take these things and use them as small trash can liners. So the little trash cans that you keep in your bathroom, or for instance, this one is our for our lint in our laundry room. Use this, easy, trash bag, free. Number 7 was an experiment. We didn't think this would actually work, but it somehow has. It turned into an educational thing along with a really cool thing. Now, I don't know if it will ever grow fruit, literally, but it is saving apple seeds and planting them. My daughter actually showed me when I talked to her about this video, and I told her I was going to show her apple tree. The thing is, a couple of years ago, my husband and her, she was like, can we plant this seed? And they planted the seed. From a seedling, it has grown into this humongous tree within 2 years. We were shocked by how quickly. So she showed me that she actually had some seeds from an apple that the tooth fairy brought her. So my daughter asks for when a tooth fairy, she loses a tooth, she asks for an apple. Don't ask me where she got that idea. She got, I think, $1 for the first tooth. And the next thing I know, I said, what are you going to ask the tooth fairy for? Assuming she would give it a monetary value. She said an apple. So the tooth fairy brings her these big, beautiful apples. They have sprinkled dust in them and all kinds of things. So she has saved the sprinkle fairy seeds to plant these at another time. So just remember that just because you're eating fruit doesn't mean you can't reuse it for something like putting a seed into the ground and letting your child see how things grow from a seed into a tree. And now we have this apple tree in our yard. Now, is this apple tree going to sprout apples at some point? Maybe, I'm not really sure, but at this moment it's working, it's growing, it looks really cool, and my daughter can say she planted it from a seed. Number 8 are socks, old socks. These are great for cleaning off blinds or dusting whatsoever. So we have, if you've seen my videos, you know we have wood shutters, which I absolutely love. I use them, I have them throughout my house instead of curtains. Such a great investment. No blinds, no curtains. We just have these beautiful shutters. And these are great for cleaning shutters because you can just rub up, rub down, through the little shutters. Even if you had wood blinds, this would work great. So this is something that when you come across a sock that maybe its friend has a hole in it, you can just keep these again in the laundry room or underneath the sink, so you can use these when you need to go and dust. It really does collect dust super, super well. Number 9 is my hack of clear nail polish. Again, maybe you're in a rush in the morning and you've got something that has buttons on it. Talking about buttons a couple of times in this video, but you don't want the button to come off, but you see that it's getting a little loose, there's a string hanging around, and you just don't want to lose it during the day. And you don't have time to go ahead and re-sew it on. Not a problem. Grab your clear nail polish, put it on top of the button where the thread is coming loose, let it dry, and go on about your day. When you get home, you can take the button off, sew it back on, and you haven't lost it. Number 10, not only can you save these little ties and the little clips from bread, but you can also save the heel of your bread. What can you use this for? Well, obviously you can use it for croutons. You can also use this for baked goods that you have overcooked. One of the best tips I ever learned, and I can't remember who I learned it from because I was a child, was if you've overcooked brownies or cookies or they're a little bit hard, put in the container a slice of bread. The next day, it will be as if you have the softest brownies, the softest cookies all around. And this bread will be as hard as a crouton, and you haven't wasted the heel. Number 11. This is a controversy in my household. It is called dryer sheets. What's the controversy? Well, let me tell you, there is a use for these dryer sheets, a couple of them. But my husband has always loved using dryer sheets. I don't think they're necessary. I never put them in. There's a lot of people who talk about not using them for whatever reason. Well, if you still use dryer sheets, which we do keep them still, because if my husband puts something in the dryer, he puts a dryer sheet in. It's just one of those battles I'm not fighting, and we're not going to deal with that. We're just going to move on. He uses them, I don't. But I will then reuse these things. They still smell good afterwards. You can put them at the bottom of a trash can, or you can take them and use them to help get the lint off of the lint trap. So they're right there as you open up the dryer. And the other thing is, we cut them in half. I at least get them to save that way. Again, they're not necessary whatsoever. But if you do have them, you can use them to wipe out the lint trap. Get it all nice and clean before you put it back in so you can keep your dryer healthier longer as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. I sure enjoyed making it for you. I hope I gave you some new ideas, and I hope that if you have any great creative ideas, you will share those with me as well down in the comments below. If you haven't done so and you enjoyed the video, make sure you click on that thumbs up button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below as well. I would love to have you come back for more videos.